What's up? What's up, everybody? This is JC, your host for the Wealth Engineering Podcast. And today we have a lot to talk about. Very excited of this topic today. But first, let's introduce myself. So, again, as I said, my name is JC. My goal is to motivate you to increase your net worth, retire early, and build generational wealth. We do that through stocks, crypto, business, and real estate. It is important to know how to manage your money. Because once you learn how to manage your money, you're going to take control of your true wealth, which is your time and your freedom. With that said, if you're on your way to start your financial journey or you have started in the last 2 years, you had the right time, you're at the right place. Hit the like, subscribe, and click the bell. So, again, this is an important topic because I want to use this example. You saw the title. You see the title. Trump is making a comeback, and this is an important topic, as I say, because there is a lot we can learn from this. All right. And I want to talk to you about it today because it's a real life example of things that I use in my day to day investing strategy to, to formulate and find out exactly what are the best deals I can get in for the future, especially for long term hold. So, a very important topic because I can actually use the theoretical aspect of it and then show you the practical aspect of it with which is what's going on with Trump, with what is about to go within the next 2 years. So we have a lot to talk about, but before we start, I want to give a couple of shout out first. First, I want to say we passed 800 subs. Thank you very much. This is a big milestone for me. I'm hoping to reach 1,000 subs by the end of the year. So please, again, share the streams, hit the like, hit the comments after the stream is posted, and also it really helps the algorithm when you guys are commenting on the chat. And I love to see the comments in the chat as well. It motivates me to keep on with the stream, and I love having you guys listening and interacting with me, guys. So, and a couple of other shout outs I want to give. Yvonne T, thank you for being the first one in the VIP room. Setting his reminder early. Thank you very much. Thank you for showing up early. J Bones, what's up, brothers? What's up? What's up? And Yvonne T again. Yes, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Sac Passé, J Bones. Thank you very much. We're here. We're here. We're good. We're going to have a lot to talk about. And I'm very excited for today's topic because, again, it's a concept that a lot of people do not factor in their investment strategy. And it can make such a good difference. I'm going to give you an analogy. You guys know I like analogies. Last stream, I give you an analogy about umpires, the building empires, and how you can picture that to understand the building blocks of building wealth, which is stocks, well, not necessarily stocks, but it's more like assets, liabilities, and all that combined create net worth. But again, let me finish with the shout outs. J Bones, hope you're well. I hope you're well too. And DJ Flip, thank you very much for showing up here. Thank you very much. All right. So, with that said, let's get to the topic. Trump. Trump is so. What is the story with Trump? Very ins- he, he was anyway. There's so much we can say about Trump, but all that to say, in the last basically, I would say, couple of weeks before he had to kind of like deliver the throne to Biden. Um, People are saying that he incentivized people, his troops or his fans, his supporters, to go and rioting in front of like the U.S. Capitol. So it's not a good look, right? It's not a good look, and the social medias, big tech companies, they were already after Trump throughout his whole presidency, but they actually used this as an advantage as an excuse to ban him. So they banned him in all social media, Facebook, Twitters, etc. Right? So now it's very important because Trump. The reason why Trump won is solely because of 2016, and well, it's because of social media. Without social media, there is no President Trump. But after that, he's been quiet, which is on rare for Trump. He's been working on something, and most people think Trump is stupid, but this guy's been working on a chess move. and he announced it this week, and that is creating a rally in the stock market. He has a company, one of the company. I mean, we're gonna talk about it today, but one company is actually rise like 275% in a day. uh, and that has so many ways, so many ripples that can happen from this one decision that can affect the US politics in the next 2 years, in the next 6 years. Also, it can affect your wealth, it can affect the world economy, right? And all that has a repercussion to your wealth. So we're gonna break it down today. I am very excited to talk about this because it's going to be very interesting, and I'm looking forward to it. But um, again, so it's the app that so what, in a nutshell, what Trump announced was that he's launching a new social media. All right. So think of it as a competitor to Twitter, a competitor to Facebook. That's what he's announcing. He announced that he's launching this app, and he's calling it the Truth app, which is ironic because Trump has been accused many times of not necessarily telling the truth and then exaggerating things. So he's calling it the Truth app. And instead of tweeting, you're going to truthing, which is now a verb. But yes, that's and it's currently in beta version now, and it's going to be released in I think Q1 of 2022. And now you can actually sign up, downloading it on App Store. It's not available on Android yet, but I think by Q2 they're going to roll it out in the US, like nationwide, which is perfect because that's going to be right in time for people to start using it and getting ready for his election. Now, today, what are we going to talk about? Again, I want to talk about the uncontrollable forces that can affect your wealth. And this Trump news is a perfect real world example that I can use to show you what this concept is about. So you can use this concept for anything, any type of investment. Before we even get to the layer of investment, you got to see the bigger picture, the macro aspect of it. And then this Trump news is something that can affect the macro aspect in so many ways. So I'm gonna define that for you. I'm gonna show you how it works, and then we're gonna go from there. Um, we're gonna talk about what is a SPAC. So if you're new in investing, this is going to be very interesting for you because I'm gonna talk. We're gonna talk about what is a SPAC and how Trump is planning on financing his company using a SPAC model and selling stock to the public. All right. So we're going to talk about that as well. So if you don't know about SPACs, you can ask questions. We're going to look into it. We're going to look at it together. Now, many apps are promising freedom, but not many can rival the big tech companies, right? The big social media companies. So we're going to talk about why the Trump app is different. Trump has something in his pocket that many of other competitors didn't have, and we're going to talk about that. And he actually might be able to pull it off, which is why it's a big deal. Because if he pulls it off, then it's going to affect in so many ways. So we're going to talk about that, and we're also going to talk about how does this factor the other big tech companies? Like, what does that? How does it affect it? Is it going to be more competitive? Are we going to be more friendly to users and viewers? We're going to talk about all that. And how does this going to change US politics, US stock market, and how can that impact the world? And more importantly, how can that impact your wealth? So that's why we're here. We're here to make sure that we grow our portfolio, we grow our wealth. But again, I'm going to introduce to you this concept, how to use the uncontrollable forces that can affect your wealth into your advantage. All right. And again, and lastly, we'll talk about, is this stock is a buy? Should you buy it now? Should you wait for it? I'm gonna give you my opinion, and yes, we're gonna go get into it. So before I start, let me see how is the chat doing. All right, cool sweater. Thank you very much, J Bones. Thank you. Hit the likes button. Yes, please. Very much. Please. It really helps. It really helps the channel. It really helps this video reach more people. Support the channel. Thank you very much for your support, J Bones. Every chat helps. And yes. And let me know what you guys are taking value out of this, because we're gonna talk about a lot of things. Now, the uncontrollable forces. that can affect your wealth. If you are a student of mine, you know exactly what that means. I spent my entire first module of my course dedicated to this topic. It's a huge topic. It's very important, and it's something that many people, I would say almost 70% of investors in the stock market, do not even conceive this idea. They don't even think about it. And that can definitely affect their probability of actually being successful in their guess, in their bets, in their investments. All right. So let's get into it. Imagine a car, right? So the car has a wheel. So we're looking at the wheel in the car. And let's say you're betting on whether the wheel is spinning clockwise or counterclockwise. All right. So you're only looking at the wheel, and then you're making money if the wheel is spinning clockwise, your portfolio is going up. And if the wheel is spinning counterclockwise, your portfolio is going down. These are the bets. And that's all you have, right? So naturally, you would want to know every time the wheel is going to go clockwise so that you can bet on it and make some money in it, right? So and if you knew when it was going counterclockwise, then maybe you can pull your money out, wait for it to start getting clockwise again, and then pull your money back up. That can multiply your gain. That's basically how you can maximize your bet, right? In this example. So does that make sense so far? Let me know in the chat if you're confused about that or if that makes any sense. But I mean, just using this as a way to picture the concept of uncontrollable forces. All right. So now that most people are looking at the wheel and they're getting ready to getting their money ready and they're about to make their bets, right? Now what most people do is they only looking at the wheel and not the car. They're not looking at the car, they're not looking at the road, right? And let me give you an example. So let's say the wheel, is about to turn. You don't know which direction it's turning. Like you feel that it might turn counterclockwise, and you put some money in, right? Crossing fingers. You think it's gonna go there. The wind is blowing in your direction, therefore it must be going in your direction as well. Fine, but someone else might be looking at the car entirely, and they notice that the car is in neutral. Okay, okay, the car is in neutral, but then they're also looking at the road, and they notice that the car is on top of a hill in neutral, and the bets are starting. So can you control the car? No. In this example, you cannot. You cannot control the road either. The only thing you can control is whether you put money in the bet or you remove your money in the bet. That's the only thing you can control. So what do I mean by the uncontrollable forces that can affect your wealth? You can control where you put your investment, which investment you decide to go. But sometimes, well, most of the times, all the times, there are factors that you cannot control but can affect the direction of your bet. In this example, so for the people only looking at the wheel, they have a feeling that it's going clockwise. They know it might go counterclockwise. They know it, but they're willing to risk their money anyway, but they're not sure. So they have their money in the bet. And for the people who are seeing the bigger picture, they see the wheel. They know that there is good money to be made on this bet, but they also see the car. They see the road. They see the hill, and they see that the car is in neutral. So, in your opinion, let me know in the chat. In your opinion, for the people that are looking at the big picture, which direction do they think that the car is going? Like, what are they thinking about? Do they think that the car is going clockwise, or do they think the car is going counterclockwise? Let me know in the chat. I'm curious to see if you guys were paying attention, understanding this model. But it's that's the concept of looking at the uncontrollable forces that can affect your wealth. And it's the same in the stock market. It's the same in real estate. It's the same in crypto. And to be honest with you, it's the same in business. If you are starting a business where you're going to start, let's say, a TV cable company, it's the wrong business to start. Your chances of success are extremely low. Why? because there are forces that you cannot control the trend, and the trend is everything is going online, everything is going to be in a stream, right? You can access it in your phone, you can access it in your tablet. No need for cable anymore. So if you're timing where, hey, I got some money to invest, I'm going to start a business, but then you're not looking at the bigger factors that you cannot control but will influence your decision, you're making the wrong bet. That is why it is important to look at the business. It's the same even if you're looking for a job. This is very important. And I learned that the hard way. The hard way. When I started studying electrical engineering to be an electronic engineering working on circuit boards, the market was great, salary was good, but by the time I got out of the university, the market had changed, and I didn't realize this until I was 2 years in, actually 4 years in the industry, and noticed that the trend was going to China. It was cheaper for companies to make circuit boards and send them to China, and instead of paying someone like me a high salary. So everyone that was in electronic engineer was losing their job, including me. I was being laid off, no fault of my own. But why? Because the bigger forces, the trend. And trend is just one of the many forces that can affect your wealth. But I wanted to put that in your uh, like mind today because it is an important concept. It is something that I teach on the course. It is something that you need to pay attention to because it will give you a bigger picture, a better picture. And with this picture, you can make better decision. And today we are going to use the Trump's situation to understand, to apply this concept and see how that can affect your future decision, your future investments, etc. Right. Do you understand what I'm trying to explain to you guys? If you have any questions, let me know. What's up, Aaron? Aaron's showing up with his popcorn. So again, just for a recap, the uncontrollable forces you cannot control them, but they can influence where your investment is going, and you can't stop them. The only thing you can do is whether you stay on your investment or you leave the investment. And sometimes, if you have to leave it, you don't want to leave it at a loss. You want to leave it at a gain. So you want to follow kind of like where the wind is blowing and align your investment with the same direction of the wind, not against the wind. All right. So that's what I'm trying to explain, and we need to see what is about to go down. And the Trump situation is a chess move, very smart move from Trump. I'm not necessarily, I mean, in Canada, I can't vote. I don't necessarily have a dog in this fight. But as an investor, a lot of my investments are in the States, the United States, control basically the global market because that's where most of the money goes in terms of volume. They have the biggest market. So I need to understand this. I need to know this because it affects my wealth. It affects my decisions. All right. So that's why I'm talking about it. Thank you, very fine. Thank you, Mr. Yvonne T. You said that he does understand external forces. Perfect, perfect. All right. So let's get into the nitty details. Let's go from there. So, and again, in the course, I talk about 7 big forces that I actually look into before I make a decision, before I even look at the charts, the financial statement, before I even look at all that, I look at those 7 forces. So I talk about that, but today I'm just showing you an example, and we're gonna keep it light today. So yes, and actually, there is that's one of the reason, if we're being honest, that's one of the reason why I am not going to invest in the stock market. I haven't been investing in the stock market in 2021, and I don't plan to really go heavy in 2022 because of I'm watching some scenarios that could happen here, and we might talk about that at the end. But what I'm doing right now in terms of stock, in case you were curious, is I'm going 100% on crypto, and also I'm slowly starting to diversify in crypto and going in the emerging market, going in the emerging market outside of the US. And there is for a specific reason for that, especially Asia. And there is a specific and strategic reason why I choose Asia out of like Latin America, for example, which have great deals, which have great deals, great opportunities out there in Latin America, but specifically choose Asia. And why? Because of the uncontrollable forces that I'm noticing. I see the trend and I see many other things that we talk about in the course. So, guys, lots to learn. And as I say, at least 70% of investors do not look at the bigger picture. They don't understand how things that they have no controls over can influence their decisions. So, again, very important, very important. You see the name of the channel, Wealth Engineering. I teach based on your personality type and your financial situation. I teach on how to find the most efficient way to get to your financial goals. That's one of the reason I made 700 over 700% in my portfolio this year alone, and the year's not even over yet. I had achieved that goal like 2 months ago. So it very efficient, very efficient, and it's understanding those simple principles. You can apply them anywhere. Remember to join the Discord channel. I have a free channel you can join if you have any questions. I'm actually going to make an exclusive streams only for the Discord members tomorrow. There's a couple things I want to announce. And then yes, if you want access to all the channels in my Discord, make sure you get the course before my birthday, which is in end of February. So if you want to get all the access for lifetime access on all the channels, then it's yeah, I'm offering that until my birthday. After, it's going to be on a Patreon subscription where you can access certain channel on my Discord. But for now, there will still be a free version. You can go join in on the free version and hit me there. That's one of the best way to find me. All right, guys. So let's get into the news. Now that you understand the concept, let's say one move that one move will have several ripple effect that can impact big tech, the market, and possibly your wealth. Now, first of all, to understand the move, we need to talk about what is a SPAC. All right. So for those who are new, there is something I want you to do. All right. Whenever you want to learn something and then you don't necessarily know what to do, go type on Google it, man. Google is your friend. Now, if you don't understand what a SPAC is, just go type it there. And I want to give you a tip. Always go with the Investopedia. It's kind of like the Wikipedia, but of investing. And then you go there, and then we're going to read together what is a SPAC. So I'm going to zoom it here. For those who didn't know, yeah, that should be good. So, what is a SPAC? A SPAC is a special purpose acquisition company. So, we're going to get into that because that's very important. Special purpose acquisition company is a company with no commercial operation that is formed strictly to raise capital through an initial public offering for the purpose of acquiring or merging with an existing company. All right, also known as a blank check company. But that's basically the part I wanted you guys to focus. So a SPAC is a special purpose acquisition company. And let me try to draw it for you. So basically, they're talking about two companies here. First, a company that will be listed as an IPO, that will be listed in the stock market where you can buy stocks from this company. And then and the purpose is if they receive enough money, then they can merge it or acquire it with an existing company already exists. All right. So, in the sake of what's going on with Trump, the SPAC, so we're going to draw it right here. The SPAC would be this company right here. Let's, oh, sorry, you guys can't see. Let me give me a second. I'll share my screen with you guys so that you can see my screen. Sure. And there you go, entire screen, because I want to show you this concept and I want you to understand this because it's again SPACs. You're going to listen and hear SPAC a lot of times, and they might be a great investment and they might not be. But yes, actually. All right, Aaron B, Team Asia. When it comes to investment, yes, I am, and for other purpose, I am as well. I am as well. As a married man, there is only certain things I can do, but hey, Team Asia, all in. R&B also, you can't invest anything in Team Latina countries. Yes, I agree, but there are some ways that you can basically, while you stay here in the US or Canada, you can actually access companies and own some of the companies out there listed to the public. So there are ways that you can do that. But okay, so let's go in this example here. Let me put this big. And let me do this. Yes. So, okay. So this is the SPAC. And for the purpose of Trump, he called it D uh, W A and I think C. There you go. So that's the SPAC name. So if you go in the stock market, like you go to look at the chart, for example, you type this as a sticker symbol, DWAC. Then yeah, you actually are going to see the stock. You're going to see the price of the stock. You can buy it and put it in your investment account. It's called Digital World Acquisition Group. And this is the SPAC that is created, just like the definition was saying. This is the part that was created to raise capital. So there is absolutely no product, no service for this company. There is only the name and then their plans to acquire an existing company. Now, the existing company they're planning on acquiring, should they receive enough money, is called, let's draw it here. So that would be the private company, and very important, private company called um, TMTG. So I'm going to type it right here. TMTG. Sorry, guys, my mouse drawing games is weak. So TMTG is the private company. All right. Private. And this is the public company, which is a SPAC. All right. So this is a SPAC. There you go. And the reason why this company is interested doing a SPAC, so that this company can either merge with it or acquire it, right? So the reason why they're interested to do that, because if they would go and do a traditional IPO, it would take a long time. If they're lucky, it might take them 3 years. Meaning there is so many regulation they have to go, they have to meet by the SEC. There have to be in a certain, like they have to have records of how much, like incomes, assets, liabilities, like financial statement. They have to have all that. It's a complicated process. Normally, a company, the way it works is, first they start up. So they would have raised to raise capital, they would do a seed round. A seed rounds means they're just getting enough money to start, and then they would use that money, try out the idea, see if there is a potential for growth. And then once they can prove that this idea works well, then they go and raise another round of capital, which is called a round A. So let's say you start with the private company and you own 100% of the share, but you have no money to actually make this idea happen. So what you do is you go get the seed round, for example. So you look at an investor. Let's say you look at Elon Musk. He has tons of money. He might want to invest in your company. So you ask him, you pitch to him, and then he gives you enough money to start the seed round. So let's say this could be 500,000. It could be a million. At this moment, your company is worth $1 million, but in exchange for this money, you would have to you have to give away some shares. So it could be 10%, could be 5%, depending on how you structure the deal. But usually, company, a founder, a CEO, they would have to decide to go this route, and as a way to raise money, right? And the more investors you have, and if it's over 50%, then you lose control of your entire company. So a lot of people are afraid of going this route. It's always a concern and ethics in the startup world. But just to give you an idea how things normally work, right? So that's what it would do. They would have first a seed round, and then they would have to work maybe a year or two. Then after, get enough money to have a round A. Round A could be 2 million, and then a round B could be 10 million. And then they go to the public and they offer they call it an initial public offering, where let's say they evaluate the company at 50 million, and then now the price of each shares would be, it could be $40, could be $50, depending on how many shares there is. At the end of the day, the price per share times the number of share is equal to the overall value of this company, the market capitalization of this company. All right. So that's how it works in general, and that's the normal process. of, you start the project, you raise some capital, it takes a long time. In this meantime, you're collecting all the information that the SEC will need to approve your initial public offering so that you can offer it to the public. They want to make sure it's a safe company. That people are actually seeing what they're doing, what actually exactly what they say they're gonna do. So that's what the public offering of thing is. So when they do the SPAC, it allows them to bypass this entire process. All right. It allows them to bypass this entire process. This is a very risky move because before, the normal way is you had standards, you had check and boundaries to make sure the companies was working well, was people, they had employees, they had product out there, they had everything, right? But now it's just an idea. It could be just an idea. You put a SPAC out there, and there used to be a lot of kind of like scam in the past from SPAC. But started 2019, the SEC started to be regulating SPACs, and now that there is more regulation, then yes, it's SPACs are actually booming. The year of 2020 was the year of SPACs. Um, if you guys want, you can check the former executive in Facebook was actually running like SPAC. I think he's called it Social Capital. So again, he's very into SPACs and he talks a lot about SPACs. So if you guys want to learn more, go learn into like type in on YouTube, you'll find a video where he talks about it. But all that to say, that's what Trump is doing. So this company here, TMTG, it's called Trump Media and Technology Group. This is a private company, meaning there might be three, four owners, and entirely they own this company. They own all the shares of these companies. Now, when imagine the SPACs work, the public buys it, and we're going to talk about that. But the public buys it, and this company will be worth, let's say, $10 billion. Then what that will do is now they will have to buy this company for $10 billion. But is this company was worth $10 billion yet? Maybe not, because they don't even have a product on the market yet. They don't have incomes coming in. They're just a newly formed company. And but depending on if people are actually buying it, they might buy it for $10 billion. So the whatever money this SPAC is able to generate from the public will go to that private company, and that private company will become public. And maybe something might happen where the private owners of this company might sell all their shares to give it to this. Maybe they might be part of the investor boards. But there's many ways that Trump should think about that, because if he's going for president, you don't want to be also the owner or the CEO or something, or a very influential person in the media company itself. So there is going to be some conflict of interest there. But that's going to be to see in the future. But in a nutshell, that's how it's going to work. So when you hear the DWAC, it's the SPAC created to acquire the TMTG private company. All right. Any questions so far? Do you guys get it? What's up? What's up, Mr. M. Charles? We're going over some technical aspect here. Thank you very much for showing. And please hit the like button, and you guys can share as well. All right. All right. So that's what I wanted to go with you guys. Let me remove that for now. And yes, so that's what a SPAC is. Okay. If you had any question about it, if you were wondering about it, and that's how Trump is planning on financing his project. Because to be honest, it's going to take a lot of money. It's going to take a lot of money to create a social media. You're going to need that for marketing, for text. Once you start going public, you're going to need access to servers, lots of money to run a company like that. And he's very ambitious. He's very ambitious. In fact, let's go to his website where I can show you how ambitious this guy is. I mean, who is very ambitious, but is this going to happen? We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. So TMTG, tmtgcorp.com, that's the website. And what is the value proposition that they're promising to the public? United Force for Freedom of Expression. Freedom of expression. That is a very important value proposition, but it's not that it's important, it's the timing. It's the timing that makes this even more important. Why? Because big tech are kind of like a mafia in a way. They're working together and they're working in the same concept where they have AI censoring people automatically. They don't even sometimes they don't even read what's going on. They're censoring Democrats, they're censoring Republicans, they're censoring everyone. And including the former president of the United States, very influential, that was once one of the most powerful human being on earth. And so basically, big tech is bigger and more and more powerful than the so-called former president that used to be the most powerful human being on earth. So that's basically what it means. What they plan on doing, all right? So they plan on doing a true social. So that's their social media apps where they plan on going against Twitter and Facebook. Now they have a TMG plus. We're gonna see what that is, and he wants to get into the news as well. Now that's very interesting from Trump. Oh man, again, we're gonna talk about that. So the truth is coming. Let me see. I want to test something. So give me a second. I want to test something. It's the first time I'm going to do this. I want to see if the audio works when I play a video. So I'm going to use that to be careful. Okay. So I want to use this to see if I can actually make it work. So let me know if you let me know in the chat if you can hear the audio from this video. Can you guys hear the audio from this? Let me know in the chat. Either give me a one or yes or something. I'm really curious. I'm testing this as well. But hey, all right, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Charles. Yes. So you see, this is an idea. This is not actually real. They're kind of like putting the project out there, giving you a visual of what it's going to look like. It might be very close to what you're seeing in this video here, but it's not there yet. And that's something that's very smart because you don't want to start putting a lot of money building the app and all that, and no one use it. So you want to see if people are willing to pay for it. And one of the things that one of the ways you can do that is if they're willing to invest in your company, and you can then use that money to go build this app. Therefore, are you in business? You are in business. And you can see that it's a mix of Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. So yeah, it's a mix of a bunch of social media apps all together, and it's called Truth. So you're not going to tweet anymore. Here's a sneak peek at the Truth Social. So again, you can go read their visions as well. So that's basically what they're planning. But I want to go a little bit more in details in what this company wants to do. TMTG, Trump Media Technology Group. They release also this PDF file, kind of like to introduce it to the investors to make sure that hey, this is where we're planning on going and go from there. So let's see what we can learn. I'm not going to read all this, but hey, again, there is always, and that's some games for you guys as well. Whenever you kind of like pitching a business, anything, you're pitching it to a bank, you're pitching it to an investor. You can break it down in three pieces. You can break it down into what is the problem, all right? Then what is the ideal solution, and why you are the best person to bring that to solve this problem. All right. And that's basically what this slides is doing. And what is the problem right here? Tech monopoly, censorship, threaten free speech, which is very true. Now, when Trump was banned, he actually went on Parler. I'm using Signal as a way as a text messenger and to replace WhatsApp. Because I know this. I know this. I'm deep in crypto, right? What Facebook was doing is they were tracking my off loggings, my offline actions. And every time I log in my crypto apps, they were tracking that. And I could see it. I could go in their history and see that. How many times in a day that I logged in my crypto apps. And they were very interested in my crypto apps. So I saw that and I removed every Facebook products on my phone. So yeah, I don't like being tracked like this. But side notes, all that to say, Trump went to Parler, and now he was able to interact with his audience, is a large audience. What Big tech did. Amazon, Amazon basically removed part of their data. And Amazon was providing the web service for Parler. So they're really at every foundation layer of technology that we use here. A lot of websites, a lot of companies are using Amazon's, whether it's for AI, whether it's for like their emails, or whether it's a website. A lot of them are using Amazon Web Services, Amazon Cloud, very big, very. Amazon Cloud is one of the most profitable business out of all the Amazons and conglomerate. But anyway, that's what Amazon was doing. So although Facebook canceled Trump, although you had like Apple or any other product, Apple was removing Parler from their app stores. Right, this is like they're working together. They're working together, and that's the problem. So for people who care about freedom, or people who care about free speech, when they see the president, ex-president of the United States is going through this, then they're like, wow, no one else is safe. We need to do something about it. And what Trump is doing is very genius, because he's tapping into this anger. He's tapping into something that is foundational to the US, which is freedom of speech. And that is smart. That is a smart move right there. This is what I'm saying. He's playing chess. And that's the value proposition. So that's the problem right here that he's trying to solve. And he's even showing you a live example where he's saying that the US president has been banned, but Taliban's they're live on Twitter. And that's so true. I actually went and checked myself. Taliban's page are still live on Facebook, on Twitter. But no, you can't have the former president. So again, he's tapping into this anger and showing a real life example. So he's showing you market opportunity. I don't understand why he has Twitter looking at all this. That doesn't make sense to me. But hey, saying he's going after Facebook and Twitter, that should be next to it. Apple and Netflix and Google. That is ambitious. That is ambitious right there. I don't. Who knows if it's going to pull this off? But that is very ambitious. And so, how does he plans on doing this? So he plans on releasing, and what that's what the company will be working on. The Truth Social, that will be the social app, which will, and then is planning on doing a streaming service that can rival Netflix and Disney Plus. Now, I think there's a lot of money to make here, but I don't think it's really going to affect Netflix and Disney. I don't think Trump has. I mean, we'll wait and see, but I don't think this is going to rival Netflix. And it, hey, more competitors, better for us, the consumer, but you never know. But Twitter and Facebook, hmm, that is a problem right here. This is a huge market for them. And Facebook relies a lot on the U.S. population to get a lot of the revenues. So if half of the population goes to Trump, it's a problem for Facebook. It's going to hurt them really bad. It's also going to hurt the news. They're going after the news, CNN and radios. So this is a blow right here. Let me give you an example of what the news is going through right now. CNN lose nearly 70% of its viewers since Trump left, right? And with lower viewers counts, lower income. And it's not just Trump, it's not just CNN, it's Fox as well, MSNBC. All the big medias are suffering from actually not having access to Trump because they have nothing else to talk about. And people are actually losing confidence on the media in general. They're losing confidence. They don't trust the media anymore. The media has become very opinionated. So you cannot really rely on the media for a proper source of news. You have to make your own research. You have to listen to one opinion that is on completely on the left, and then another opinion completely on the right, and then kind of like find yourself in the middle. But is Trump going to solve this in the media? Absolutely not. It's going to be completely his own opinion. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. But hey, whether Trump has proven that is good for media, he has proven this. Oh, it's not just while he was a president. Before he was a president, he was very good at attracting views for television. That is one of his skills. That is a very high income skills that he has that maintain him that have him guarantee him a certain level of wealth. We talk about high income skills in one of the streams. But anyway, he's going after the news. This is bad for the news market. So and then long term opportunity, he wants to go after AWS. He's going after Stripe payment methods. He's going after Google Cloud. I don't know what Azure is, but I know what AWS is. I know what Google Cloud is, and I know what Stripe is. But these are very, very ambitious moves. But if he does well with this, he might have enough money to start attacking one at a time. I would go with the cloud first. It's more. I feel like with cryptos you can bypass this, but the cloud, big tech having the power to pull out your website if they don't agree with what you're saying. And I think this trend is only going to get worse. So the timing for Trump to do this is perfect. Perfect because it's not just what we need another, we need a balance, right? We cannot have everything going one way. Every company is working together to go one way, but we need some type of balance, and that's what he's providing in the market. So that's that part I appreciate because as a user, right? As a user, consumer, I want the best deal that I can get. All right, let's see. Let's see what we have come for question here. Do you see a large younger audience turning to media associated with Trump? Hmm, very good question. Young, younger audience, no. But what I did notice in the 2016, especially in 2020, although Trump was losing. I mean, basically, he lost, and we're gonna see the results soon. He lost, but I did notice there was more young people interested in what Trump was doing and saying. I noticed more young people was defending Trump, which I didn't see in 2016. In 2016, there was more like most people was quiet. The young people were like, "Yeah, we don't need this," and a lot of women were saying, "Hey, we need to break the glass ceiling." I didn't see much of young people being active there. But when it came to 2020, I did notice an increase, and I observed things like this because what I'm looking at as an investor, I'm not looking at this for politics. I'm looking at this for an investor. I want to see the trend. I want to see where it was then, when it is now, where is it going, right? So that is an important thing. We'll notice. We'll see. We'll see. I don't think personally at first they're going to go heavy on that, and that's one of the reasons why I don't agree with. Didn't put it here, but basically this, or it's probably going to go after all the social media. It's probably going to after YouTube as well. And when you say Google, I think he's probably going to after Google as well or YouTube as well. There's no way. There is no way Trump can rival YouTube. He can damage Facebook. He can damage Twitter really bad. Twitter is like borderline failing as a company, but Trump can damage these companies very bad. But YouTube, I don't know. And that's where the young lives. So again, we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be very interesting to see how the trend grows. But at first, the first year, I don't think so. I think it will be more of his core fans, more of his, and we'll see the numbers here. We'll see. Okay. So, are you experienced in AWS, Google Cloud, and Azure? I don't know Azure. AWS, yes, I work in tech, so AWS is something almost every startup company I know is working with that, especially for AI application. Google Cloud, yes, but apparently, from what I hear from the techs, they prefer AWS to have access to um, the platforms. They prefer that, and yeah, that's basically where the tech company goes. And imagine if Amazon owns that, then they basically own or they control the flow of the tech world in general. If they don't like what this technology company is doing, shut it off. And that's what they did with Parler, right? So very important to keep that in mind. But I saw that, and again, very ambitious project. It might give a lot of hype, but I don't know how he's going to achieve this. This is going to be very hard to do. Stripe, I understand why he needs it, but you can do a lot of that with cryptos. But this is needed for a balance, right? But I don't see how he's going to really affect Netflix and Disney. The reason why he wants to affect Netflix and Disney is because he's saying that they're going too woke. They're kind of like, it's the woke culture, right? And then there is this famous saying that, hey, you go woke, you go broke. And there's a lot of people that are focusing on that, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he goes there. Let's see what else. Let's see what else. And showing you the history of media, political segmentation, newspaper, radio, cable, social media. I think we might transition to another one from this decade. It won't be necessarily social media, but if we're looking at the years, this is how you know. This is how you know. Looking at the years, um, from 80 to 90s, I think, yeah, mid 90s, that's where cable was really booming, right? So I would say 10 to 15 years. That's kind of like the lifetime we saw this. And then this is like, wow, this is a long lifetime, right? This is almost from cable, as cable was dying. So let's say almost right now, we could say we have a solid 15 years of social media. And so we should be at the end of this trend and the beginning of another one. So my eye on this decade will be what is going to be that next flow of media. Is it going to be is it going to transition from phone social media into remote augmented reality with Oculus glasses? Is this how it's going to be? Is it going to be a more personalized media? And we're starting to see this with YouTube, where YouTube has an algorithm where they basically customize your, and Netflix too. Whenever you go on your Netflix, you have your own profile and it shows you exactly what you are most likely going to see. Same thing on YouTube on the recommended page. It's going to give you videos that you're most likely going to see how we feel today. Are we going to see that trend where your media will be tailored to you? So if you're a political people, you're going to have only political feeds sending to you, or like I mean, if you're Republican or Democrats, it's going to be only those feeds being sent to you. If you like sports, it's going to be those feeds sending to you. So I feel that this is where media is evolving, but I want to see more data supporting this. But I think in this decade we'll have it clear. By the end of this decade, we'll have a clear indication where media is evolving. Again, guys, I always look where things are going, the bigger picture. If you can see it before it happens, you can get investment for very cheap that will be worth 10 times, 100 times more when the market catches up. That's one of the reasons why we're doing this stream today. That's why the news dropped Friday, this Thursday, Wednesday, but Friday the stock started booming. Sunday, I'm taking the time to do this stream for you guys. I want you guys to understand this concept, understand the uncontrollable forces that can affect your wealth, that can help you see the bigger picture where things are going. You position yourself to gain from it, not being a victim of it, because there will be victims. Everyone who spent years working in their journalist degree, YouTubers might put them out of business, right? If you wanted to be a teacher in university, YouTuber might put you out of business. You might have to become a YouTuber, right? Would you be able to make a living out of that? Would you have enough subs? Look how hard it is just to get 1,000 sub now. There was a time it would be easy to get 1,000 sub. Now it's very hard. Now if you have 100 subs as a YouTuber, you're a big YouTuber because it's very hard to get 100,000 subs. That's one of my dreams, by the way. If I could get 100,000 with the plaque as an Asian guy, I want to do it for my country. There's not many YouTubers that are Asian. So yes, that would be a dream for me. So anyway, help me get to 1,000. Please share. But guys, It's very important, guys, when seeing where things are going. But and what I like about what Trump is doing, he's starting a new media company and a technology company, both, which is crucial because one of the things that are affecting CNN and MSNBC is their technology structure is weak. Their media structure is strong. They've been developing that for years. The production, people that they have in TV, beautiful people, they talk nice, all that. They have this perfect, but their technology was weak. It took them so long to jump to social media, going on YouTube, going on Facebook, developing their presence. It took them very long to do that, right? Trump understands this. He understands the power of technology and social media. He wouldn't have won in 2016 without this. He's starting a new technology and social and media company right in this decade with the latest technology. That's what he's going to do. The people that he's going to hire are going to use the latest technology. So he might be right ready when we're about to make that switch from traditional social media, from the phone, from your website to that Oculus version, or assuming that's what it's going to be. It might be something else. I don't know. It might be right there to make that switch even faster, more efficient than any other form of social media out there. So if you affect Facebook now, Facebook will have to transition their business model to, they already talking about that. Facebook already talking about that. They want to change the name from Facebook to be more inclusive to all other projects they're working on. And they're working on what they call the metaverse. What is the metaverse? The metaverse is the virtual world. You're going to use an Oculus where you can connect, you can access an augmented reality uh, world. I can connect with you on your house. And I can see what you're seeing in your house. You can see what's in my house. And I just have a Oculus glass. It was why I said I wanted to. A maximum companies that I'll be investing in the stock market will be on maximum three companies. But for so far, I haven't decided on what the two companies is. But I have decided on one. There is one company. If you are in the Discord, you know which one it is. I talk about it sometimes. But there is only one company that I'll be buying in 2021. I had it before. I sold it at a profit. It went down. Perfect. Because now I can get it cheaper. But I'll be, if you guys know, if you want to know, let me know in the Discord. I'll ask me and I'll let you know. But it's directly in this field of facilitating the access, the transition from phone to the next level, to the glasses. That's going, and I think that's where media is going. It will be right there for Trump because it will be right there, ready for it. It's harder for older people to maneuver to new trend. But if you're new, you're young, it's very easy for you to maneuver to new trend. So something I wanted to keep in mind. And let's go through this document quick. So Trump historical. So they're saying 146 total followers. I divide that by two because you might have a follower on Twitter and that same followers on Instagram and the same followers on Facebook. So it doesn't really represent how many people are actually following him. But we could say half. Why? Because if we're looking at the the results for Trump, we got 74 million people. It's like right almost kind of like right almost like if I would divide that by a couple almost 2.2, 2.3. So we would get right there. So he has people behind him. And that's enough people. That's a lot of people. Are all of these people would actually follow him on the social media? Who knows? They might download it at least. They might go in it once, twice, right? If they want to keep up with Trump's and what's the latest news with Trump, if they voted for him, they might want to know what is he doing differently. Where they're gonna get this news? TMTG, the Truth Social Media, because that's the only way he'll post. That's the only place it'll go public. Every announcement he has to make, that's where he's going. He's not going to Facebook. He's not going to Twitter. right? If Fox wants to interview him, they have to interview him in the social media platform. I'm sure he'll have a big truth social behind him so that Fox can show his company, get free marketing. Like, anyway, guys. Anyway, interesting. Things are going to be interesting. Netflix, global paid subscribers in millions. It's going year over year. It's increasing. Now we're talking about 209 million subscribers that are paying monthly subscription. This is a big market. Now they're saying that, hey, we can take a portion of those subscribers. I don't think they can. Let, let's be fair. Let's say they take 3 to 5% of this subscriber count. 3 to 5%. Um, that's a lot of people. We're talking about 209 million people. So 10% would be 20.9 million, right? So that's a lot of people. If we divide it for 5%, that's half, 10 million. Let's say they get 10 million from Netflix and they have a new version of a Netflix, which is more kind of like freedom friendly or not woke. That could happen. But is that really going to affect Netflix? Not really. I don't think so. Podcasts. I think they have a potential there too. They could get between maybe 3-5% from Spotify. They could. But is that really going to affect Spotify? No. And talking about Spotify, they closed a deal with Joe Rogan for $100 million, and they have been censoring Joe Rogan. Spotify employees are walking out because they don't agree with what Joe Rogan is saying. While they basically given the money to control him. And he's talking about that in his podcast while he's being financed by um by Spotify. JC, you have a Discord? Yes, I do have a Discord. I leave a link all the time in my videos. You can always go in the descriptions. In any video that I post, you're always going to see the link for the Discord, so you can join in. I have a free general kind of chat. Yeah, some people speak French, some people speak English, but any question you have, I share some knowledge there as well. You can ask me there. And then if you want to go with the kind of like more exclusive versions, but that's later. But yeah, if you go with the free version, that's the fastest way to reach out to me. And then I love to interact with people there. Couple things while we are there. Status quo. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Innovation. Yes. Very true. Very true, J Bones. Very true. Uber put taxi out of business. Technology. Look how slow it took them to modify, to adapt to this new technology. That's what happens. Very for old people, or for old companies, it's very hard to adapt to new technology, and technology innovation are coming fast, very fast. Talk talk. I want you guys to listen to Kathy Kathy Wood. She talks a lot about innovation and how all the levels that innovations are coming in. Yes, thank you. I am, but it's a hmm, we'll talk about that. It is important to see things ahead. I agree. Trump is using the term fake news was brilliant. He exposed them easily. Projection, he will win the election easily. Look. And I listened to Valuetainment. I made a video about Valuetainment. But again, for the most part, I agree and I love Valuetainment. Valuetainment's been talking about this. They said, hey, the way to hurt Trump is limit his access to social media. But with social media, Trump is unbeatable. With social media, Trump is unbeatable. Now, the big tech, they work together to get him out because they understand his strength. But while he was in the power, he built a case that you want to follow him in other platform. So if he creates his own platform where you can't ban him, he controls the viewers, he controls uh, what he says, and he controls the platform. He will be in a situation where you can't really attack him anymore. And the more the traditional media will attack him, the more it will encourage people to go on his platform. That is the smartest move. This is chess, people. Trump is not stupid. He is not stupid. I think he's playing stupid as a character so that he can be more entertaining, more people can talk about him. I think he talks that way to play a character. If you play videos from Trump's in the 80s, he sounded so smart. He didn't talk that way. So all of a sudden, because he got older and then the speech pattern changes, I think he's playing a character when he goes public like this. But anyway, Twitter, 206 million people using Twitter. Again, I think it can hurt Twitter really bad. If I take 3 to 5% share that you will take from Netflix, from podcasts like Spotify, I think it can get 30% from Twitter. I think you can get that number. 30% from Twitter, that's a huge number, right? And I think he can also do that for, he can also do that for, what do we say? Facebook. I think he can. This is possible. Again, Facebook has many project. So I'm specifically talking about the social media part, not like all the other projects, right? The social media part. But guys, 30%? That's 60 million people from Twitter. I think he can do that. That's what I think he can. That's possible with Twitter because and that will damage Twitter really bad. And I'm pretty sure he has a vendetta against Twitter because Twitter was one of the first ones to want him out. So again, very lots of potential here. Can he do it? Yes, I think he can. I think he can pull it off. So again, he's talking about the inclusive big tent approach. Again, he's talking about all the people that people have, but he's not going to get every subscribers that Netflix has, but he might take a percentage of it, right? He's talking about like a one third of would use a Trump-backed social media. Again, that's to show investors that there is interest already, and I'm sure investors will believe that because we can see it. So one third, 54% of people that were um, basically yes, they would say that. Would you use a social media platform that was backed by former President Trump? No, yes, yes. So this is yes, maybe one third is a good number. Is a good number to start. And after more influence, more people will get it. So in a nutshell, that's what this is. It's TMG. Can he pull it off? Can he pull this off? Do you guys see the ripple aspect of it? And we're going to talk about wealth, right? But let me tell you why, and I'm going to go through that very quick, but why Donald Trump is one of the only one in the world that can rival big tech. Over the years, big tech offered a unique platform that no one else was familiar with, no one else found before, and very entertaining. So everyone went to it. And once everyone you know has it, it becomes a no brainer that you're going to use it too. This has become a struggle for any other companies that wanted to compete with big tech. They couldn't pass through that obstacle where, hey, I don't want to move away from this platform because all my friends are here. This is a problem for competitors, and that's how they fail. They cannot get enough market share from the big techs, and they cannot survive. The only way basically competitors been able to survive is by creating a new feature that big tech didn't have. For example, Snapchat. Snapchat created the concept of the story, where you can have like maybe 7 seconds, 10 seconds. You film yourself and you upload it there. That was going viral. That catapult Snapchat to $1 billion evaluation very fast. And then what happens is big tech took over it. They just they just made a feature in Instagram, and now this feature is on Facebook, and Snapchat dead. I mean, it's not necessarily dead yet, but it's not growing as a company, not necessarily. So important, guys. Now, well, can Trump pull this off? Again, he's tapping into something that is at the core of a lot of American freedom of speech. And if we look at the numbers, for 74 million people to vote for someone as controversial as Trump, downloading an app to listen to him is not a big deal to them. If they can vote for Trump, they can download an app to listen to him. They can download an app not necessarily for him, but they will be downloading the app for freedom of speech. He gave them a bigger purpose to strive for, and showed them the enemy, big tech, fighting freedom of speech, American values. He's giving them a way to fight that they don't have to riot in front of the Capitol anymore. They can just download an app and use it and cancel big tech because now they have no other options. All their friends are in Facebook, all their friends are on Twitter, but now they will. They have an options. They can make a stand. And that's again, that's where I want to see what Joe Rogan is gonna do. Things are going to be so interesting, guys. Joe Rogan got $100 million from Spotify and is being censored. Now he's talking about we should cancel the cancelers. That's what he's saying. With a platform like this that has podcasts in it, will Joe Rogan do what is good for freedom of speech? Or will Joe Rogan accept the money and sell his soul? That is the key. Because if someone like Joe Rogan decide to walk away from a huge contract, $100 million to go support something like this, Trump alone could pull this off. But if he gets a support like that, can you imagine if that happens 3 months prior to the election? Can you imagine this? People like Alex Jones. Alex Jones was going super viral. There have to be a word for my Alex Jones. It's not. He wasn't going viral. He was going super viral in 2016. He was making videos after Hillary, after the Democrats, showing. I think he even started the whole Pizzagate thing. That went viral. Alex Jones was banned like 2017. Like after the election, he was the first one that was attacked by big tech. And once we saw that, we knew others were coming. We knew it. And in the last 4 years, while Trump was here and after he was gone, we saw it. If someone like Alex Jones goes and gets like news station there where he can freely talk, not being banned, he has his own platform independent from anyone else, but no one is really listening because it's not reaching where people are, right? He's not converting new viewers. He's just using the existing viewers he has. But platform like this, you put someone like Alex Jones in there, put someone like Joe Rogan in there, you put someone like Carter from Fox. There will be a lot of Fox employees that would be leaving to go in that, right? He could start his own Fox company from Fox employees leaving to go there. It's he could pull this off, guys. He could pull this off, and that will give them enough momentum, enough people right from inception to overcome one of the biggest obstacle big tech had, which was the problem of if my friends are using it, I have to use it to talk to my friends. Therefore, I cannot go to yours, right? That was the biggest problem that was slowing down competitors. Trump can solve that. So he can pull this off. I think he can. And oh man, I'm telling you, if he gets a huge endorsement, and And when we're talking about the fundamentals of the foundation values of United States, freedom of speech is at the core. Trump's another reason why I can pull this off, Trump's influence in the media. The media are begging for him to be back. They're already talking about him. He's like, they're not even talking about Biden. They're already talking about Trump. Trump is going to leverage that influence to promote his project. It's going to get free marketing for 2 years. And if he gets president, he's going to get an extra 4 years free marketing from his social media. Because why? The traditional media cannot stop talking about him. They depend on him because if they don't, their viewers will stop, right? If they don't, this is what's going to happen. So they need Trump. Trump is playing chess, people, not checkers. They're it's like a checkmate. That's a checkmate move right there for CNN. I mean, for Trump against CNN, checkmate. Because if they don't talk about Trump, they're gonna lose. And if they do talk about Trump, they're gonna win, but Trump is gonna win more. So yes, he can pull this off because of the media, because of the checkmate move. And that's where it's interesting. No competitors to big tech had the ability to generate free marketing being exposed to millions and millions of Americans and people in the world without having to pay for it. Trump can use his influence for that. And again, the other reason why Trump can pull this off is because there is a lot of Americans that are pissed. There, a lot of them thinks there's they think the election were fraud. They look, we saw the results, guys. We saw the result. 74 million people voted for him. That was almost half of eligible voters. That's a lot of people, right? So these people, if they are willing to vote for such a controversial person, they can download an app. So I think from inception, he can get 20 million user easy from this app and only grow from there by the end of the election to get to 50 million user. I think that's possible. With 15 million user in an app, you are in a big league. You are in a big league. Now, in your opinion, do you think the Democrats having issues with the censorship and freedom of speech? Let me know in the chat. What do you think? Do you think people in Democrats are also having issues with censorship? Are they being banned on YouTube? Are they being banned on Facebook? Hey, maybe some of them have agree with a lot of things, but they have different views when it comes to stopping businesses from not opening when it comes to vaccine. Maybe they see that a little bit extreme. Like if you don't have the vaccine, you can't open or you can't let people in. They might see this as an extreme, although they are vaccinated. They might see this as an extreme, and they might, you know what? No one is listening to me. I'm being called crazy. I might want to support Trump, right? Sorry, but yeah. Anyway, it can be done. It can be done. Anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Give me a second. Give me a second. All right. Give me a second here. Oh. Okay, sorry. But yeah, guys, that's what I think. I think Trump can pull it off. And if he pulls it off, how is that going to affect your wealth? That is the bigger question. Because do we care about politics? I mean, maybe some of you do. I am not. I used to care about politics, but I realized the rich don't. Therefore, I stopped caring. And yeah, because I want to be in a situation where, regardless of what happens, my portfolio goes up. And that's one of the reasons why I look at uncontrollable forces that can affect my wealth, because I can see what's going on the upside. So overall, um, how is it going to affect big tech? Well, it's better for us because we are content creators. Me, other YouTubers, viewers. It's better for you. You get access to it's. It could put pressure on social media because they have seen, like, you have seen videos like the social dilemma on Netflix talking about the problems with Facebook and what they're doing. You've seen ex Facebook employees talking about testimonial against big tech. They got a strong competitor coming for them that has a big influence worldwide. So they can go over the biggest obstacle easily. They'll have to be more competitive, more transparent, take care of the viewers, better control on their data, which improve the service for us. And they'll have to slow down on censorship. They'll have to take it seriously because now for every YouTuber complaining about censorship, it's an automatic commercial for Trump. Let me repeat that again. For every YouTuber that complains about censorship, it's an automatic ad for Trump. And it's the AI that censor people on YouTube. It does it automatically. So it's going to take time for Facebook to program their AI model again to slow down on censorship. Be more careful, right? And all that's going to motivate people to jump and go to a platform where they won't be censored. So I'm stuck. So let's see what's going on here. The Russian troll network. Well, hey, that means I'm doing something good. I have my first troll. Or is that or is just in I'm stuck in at 87. I don't know what that means. But hey, we'll see. So yes, guys. Very interesting what's going to be developing, and that can affect your wealth. Um, what else I wanted to talk about? So I wanted to talk about also US politics. That can also affect US politics because now Trump has a fighting chance. Now, the stock market. Here's what you need to understand when it comes to the stock market. Stock market love Trump. The stock market love Trump. So why? Trump is good for business. And what I mean by that is it's simple. Tax cuts means more money to reinvest in your business. And so the higher tax means less money to reinvest in your business. And the less you reinvest, the less you grow, the less income comes in. And the more you reinvest, the more you grow and the more income comes in. And I want you to think yourself also as as um I want you to think yourself also as a business, right? The more tax you pay, it's less money for you in your pocket or to reinvest in your portfolio or to invest in your education. You are a business too. So, yes, guys, um, Trump is good for the stock market. However, we've been going up for a while. We have been going up for a while. And everything that goes up, guys, must go down. Let me see if I can show you the stock market, guys, because this is nuts. And that's why I get away from it, guys. I am scared of the stock market. I don't like when it's too close to the end like this. It's not making sense. Everything that goes up must go down. We're long due for a correction in the stock market. I was expecting it to happen this year. It didn't happen. I made a prediction earlier this year that it would happen by end of the summer. It didn't happen. But doesn't mean that it won't. It may happen next year. It may happen 2 years from now. Who knows? It may happen before Trump gets into the office, or it may happen as Trump gets into the office. And if it does, it's still good for business overall in the long term because if he gets in power, he will be able to reduce tax cuts, right? Less tax cuts equal to more money for businesses to reinvest in their companies, right? So that's good overall. And that's if there is a correction, that's the person you want in the office. If there is a correction. So how that's going to impact your wealth? Well, it depends on which investment you want to make, but it could also impact the macro economy. I think the Russian troll network. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. I mean that I bought it at $87, and I guess you're talking about DWAC. Let me share it with you guys as well. I wanna, yeah, there you go. Oops, sorry. So it's 94 now, 87. So look at what the stock did. Started around $10. That's usually where stocks goes, or it starts around $10, and then all of a sudden it hey, boom to talking about 1200%, 1200%, right? It's crazy, but it corrected itself, right? Corrected itself, and now that's 600% from, no, maybe not actually. Let's put it to $10 right here, and we need to do log. Perfect. Yes, now we can see it a lot easier. Yeah, $10 from $10, it's 600%. I think it was around 200% on Friday. But again, guys, can this stock be worth now? The evaluation of this company, we don't know. It could be market capitalization here. It says 3.3 billion. 3.3 billion is if this correct itself and be around 2 billion, is actually very cheap price to buy it. That's what I think. I think if you were around this company and it's around 2 billion, it would be a very cheap price to get in. If you want to get in, me personally, I will not because I just don't like the stock market in general. It's too it's too high for me. It's too high. I don't like to buy things when they're so high. I like to buy things when they're very low. When they're very low. You know what I mean? That's when I like to buy things. When they're very low. And right now in the emerging market, things are very low. I like to go there years before the market does. So that I like to be here. Wait, oh, you're not seeing this. Wait, sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I'm with you. I got you. I got you. Here's my style of investment, guys. I like to be here. Right here. See? That's what I like to do. Can you make money here and here? Of course you can, Mr. The Russian Troll Network. Can this stock goes from 87 to 500? Of course it can. Of course it can. After the SPAC goes through, we might very well be seeing a $10 billion evaluation. We might see a $10 billion evaluation. We might see it close to that range. If it goes to, yeah, I don't think it will reach like 20 or 30 anytime soon. But I mean, look at the competitors, guys. That's the thing. That's another way to do market research. Look at the competitors. I mean, of course, these companies have been going like for years and have established themselves and has like millions in their. Look at this market capitalization 915 billion. 915 billion with a B. That's what Facebook is worth as a company overall. And now we're looking at a competitor who's barely 3 billion. Can Trump pull this off? Can he get 30% from Twitter's users? Can he get 20% from United States users from Facebook? 30%. I think he can do 30. It can hurt these companies real bad. And you also have Apple going against Facebook. The other day, last month, they announced that hey, they're considering removing Facebook in their app. Facebook is taking hits. Ex employees from Facebook are going on Congress. Facebook is taking some hit, and it's still worth 915 billion. It's almost $1 trillion company. Can Trump pull this off? Is there money to be making there? I think there is, guys. I think it's still early. I think it's risky. But if there is one thing Trump has that other companies did not have, he has enough people behind him to catapult this app to have a lot of engagement. That is the currency of social media. That's why I need a lot of chat here. I need you guys to like the video, guys. Share it if you can. After the video is posted, I want you guys to make some comments. It helps with engagement. Engagement is the currency in social media. If you have $1 million sub, like million subs channel, and you have no engagement in YouTube's eye, you're worthless. But if you have a 10K channel, but you get like 10K views on live stream, and you get a lot of chat throughout this entire time, you're almost more valuable than a 1 million subscriber channel. Engagement is the currency. So Trump is the master at that because it's so controversial. It kind of like forces you to have a debate, a discussion, put your ideas out there. That's going to engage people. Can he pull it off, guys? I don't, yeah, there is a case for it. There is a case for it. And we need to pay attention to that because it can affect the market. Again, it's going to depend on a couple things. Are we going to have this correction before Trump gets into the office, which will be ideal? Because if we get the correction before, we need a correction. If we get the correction before and Trump gets in, it will be ideal because now you will have stocks at cheap prices, and then you'll have the perfect case for them to go back up. Right? That's when I want to get in the stock market. Right there, right at that sweet spot. Not when it's high. And again, let me tell you what. Let me show you what I mean, guys. Let me show you what I mean. And sorry, Russian troll network. Again, if you have more comments, please share. If you're still watching, thank you for your comments. I like your name. It's funny. The Russian troll network. Are you in Russia? But just out of curiosity, or are you Russian yourself? Let me know in the chat. Okay, guys, I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you the stock market, guys. It's it's high. It's not like it's you got to be careful about this. Now, the reason why we're looking at indexes, guys, is because on index, the S&P 500, and what did I say earlier? I said, guys, when you're curious, when you want to know something, you can go on Investopedia and learn from things. So, right, you can do that. Let me show you. What is an index? Well, the first thing that will show up, Investopedia. Always go with Investopedia. It's one of the most simple, clear-cut. An index is a method to track the performance of a group in a standardized way. Index typically measure the performance of a basket of securities intended to replicate a certain area of the market. In a nutshell, what does that mean? It just means that we're measuring the performance of the entire market by looking at certain amount of companies. S&P 500 means basically kind of like the top 500 companies, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that's that's how you measure. So if you're looking at the top 500 companies, then you see if are they going up, are they going down? It's doing the average of that, putting it into a chart. So yeah, just to be clarifying, just in case, that's what we use. See, you just go there, you type it. It's your friend, guys. You go with Investopedia, and then after, if you want more tools, but is a market capitalization, wait, whatever, traded companies in the US. So we're looking at the US market. It is not an exact list of the top US companies by market cap because there are other criterias to be included in this index. So okay, so that's why I wanted to be sure. But it's not an exact list, but it's very close to it. So we're looking at the kind of like almost the 500 most influential companies in the US. And if these companies are doing bad, then we know that everyone else is doing bad, right? So I believe earlier, was it earlier this year or end of last year, that Tesla was added in this. So again, we there is a couple things we need to do, and there's a couple index I watch. S&P is one of them. Um, I didn't list it there. I think I removed them, but I watch other index. I watch the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq, it's kind of like an index that is watching every company listed on Nasdaq, and there's a lot of tech companies that loves to be listed on Nasdaq. I think it was one of the it's the way the market order works, the market makers. It's the way they work. It's kind of like very kind of advanced technology. There's almost no one there versus the traditional way. New York Stock Exchange is still using the ancient methods of making uh, market orders. But anyway, all that to say, I track other things as well. I track the US dollar, right? US dollar C currency index to see how well it's doing in comparison to others. I like to track this. There is a reason, and I'll make another stream about US dollars because this is crucial. This is crucial when we're talking about forces that can affect your wealth. Understanding currency is key because everything we buy it with currency. What is the difference between US dollars and pesos and Canadian dollar? Why we need to pay attention to US dollar more? Why US dollar is worth more than other currencies? We gotta talk about that. Shout out to the Russian Troll Network. Still here, enjoying the channel so far. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Very much. But yes, guys, stock market, it's high. We're looking at an hourly chart. That's not a good way to measure it. We got to look at, let's say, 3 day or week. And then if you're looking at what the lines are, um, let me know in the chat or in the comment section after, if you're watching the replay. Let me know if you want me to make a course on simple ways to read the market, read a chart. I would love to make a stream like that, but I just want to know if it's going to go a little bit more technical. But I want to know if you guys are interested. If you are, I would love to spend a couple hours and 2 hours max, basically. But you can learn this in 15, 20 minutes. That's not an issue. But guys, we're looking at the weekly chart. So crash course. Every candle, we call it a candle. If it's red, it's going down. So that means it started early. We're looking at the weekly. Every candle represents 1 week. If it's red, it started on Monday and it closed on Friday and it went down. And if it's green, it started on Monday there and it went up and it closed on Friday there. Every thank you, Yvonne, you're down. Every candle represents 1 week. We are looking at since the crash in 2008. That was a massive crash, right? Remember this crash? This was a 55% correction in the stock market. 55%. Meaning if you spent 10 years saving in your portfolio, one day you wake up and you saw half of that gone. Because the entire market 500 top companies were going low. Some companies went lower. Some companies went maybe 25 instead of 55, but it averaged down to 55. Since then, Obama showed up. He talked about hope. It pumped a lot of money, called it quantitative easing, called it the stimulus package. And you guys don't understand yet. If you took the course, you know exactly what I'm saying. But if you want to understand this more, again, every video is not the streams, but like the clips, for example, or videos that I do one to one, I add links, lots of links. Some of them are affiliate, but one of the links I add is the video series that every investors should watch. One of them is the video series of Mike Maloney. Mike Maloney is the what Mike Maloney teaches is the foundation of the wealth engineering mentality. And you need to understand this because you need to understand why printing money is so bad. We're going to make a currency stream so I can summarize all that for you. But he started printing money there. So ever since then, guys, all this money is being using to buy back more stocks from the company that receives it. Let's say Apple. I mean, I don't think Apple did that. They don't need to. I'm just gonna use Apple as an example. But Apple received money from the stimulus package, for example. Again, just an example. They would take some of that money, they buy back their own shares, reducing the amount of shares available to the public, therefore increasing the price of their shares, which increase the stock market prices. And you have a lot of company doing that at the same time, making the stock market blasting to all-time highs. Since 2013, we've been on a continuous run, and now we're about to start 2022, and we haven't had a correction yet. Normally, the cycle is every 5 to 8 years, we're supposed to have a correction, and the correction is healthy for the market. We do not want over evaluation for companies that are have no financial statement, and are already worth $1 billion. This is not normal. This is not healthy for the market. And that's what's been happening for years. Now, Corona happened. CV-19, if I want to shout out to the intentional millionaire, I can't use this word because I can't use the real word. I can say COVID or Corona because censorship, right? Talking about censorship earlier. CV-19 happened, huge correction, but it went up too fast. This is kind of like, look how long this took before it reached its former glory, right? From 2008, 9 to 2013. This is unhealthy correction. This is not. This is what they call a V-shaped recovery. This is not. It's basically something happened, just a glitch, and then you're back to normal scheduling. So that means if there was no glitch, like if there was no CV-19, it will just kept going straight up. So this is just a glitch. Oh, okay, let's go back to normal. This is not a real market correction. We need a real correction. A correction like this, we're going to have a slow recovery. And what I'm saying here is in the next 2 years, if we get a correction like this, the best person you want in the office is someone like Trump that's going to reduce the taxes for business so that they can reinvest their money to grow it again. If you charge them a lot of tax as they're low, it is not a good plan for them. It is not good for them. That's why I'm scared of the market, guys. I'm scared of it because it's too high. It's been high for too long. It's too long. Look at this straight up. We're putting it on a monthly. Now, every candle means a month. Every candle needs a month. Look how many green months we had. So the market's been going up the entire time. You've been in the market after CV-19. You've been going up. But everything that goes up must go down. And right now, I'm just not comfortable with all this. And if I want to go a little bit more technical, there is something called a divergence. This is going down. This is going up. At some point, the price will reflect to what's actually happening in the called the RSI, the strength. This is measuring strength of the market. The strength is going downtrend, the market is going up. So at some point, the price will reflect the strength. And when I see this on a monthly chart, which is more significant, I get out of the market. I'm waiting for that correction. And I want it to be like this. I want the strength to be low, like this, where the lines are green on the green. And I have it green because to me, that's when it's green to buy. When it's red, that's when it's exit time. Very simple. That's the wealth engineering philosophy right there. All that to say, guys, the market is too high. It needs a correction. Trump can succeed with this social media app. If he does, it's almost guaranteed he's going to win. There is no one in the Republican Party that can keep up with Trump if Trump has a social media on his own. No one. That was his only mistake. His only mistake. And not mistake, his only weakness. His only weakness, guys, was social media as a whole. Now, now is going to compete with big tech and is motivating the population to follow him. He's tapping into their fundamental value, freedom of speech. He's tapping into the level of small people, small communities trying to impose their views on on a large amount of people. Go woke, go woke, get broke. With Jacques Marie's voice, I guarantee. But I don't know, guys. He can pull this off. What I would do, here's what I would do. Again, I don't know. In my opinion, we should have a correction, and we're due for it. So me, I'm getting ready for that. What I used to do is look at what happened when Trump. But because again, we were talking about how can this impact our wealth. First of all, here's the kicker. I want you to guys to keep in mind. Trump's app is going to put pressure on all big tech, right? We saw it on his chart. Trump app will put pressure on big tech. And when with pressure will come lower prices. With pressure, they're losing market share, they're losing revenue, it slows down their growth. That's what Trump apps will do. Now, I showed you guys how close, I mean, we're close to a correction because it's just too high. But if big tech starts slowing down, that could be enough of a trigger for the market to go down. Most of this pump that you're seeing when we're looking at the S&P 500, it's the top 30 companies that are mostly pushing all the prices up. The rest are not doing that well, especially with CV19. People are not going back to work. They're not doing that well, guys. It's mostly the big tech companies with billions of evaluation dollars they have to work with, pumping the prices up, keeping the market high, all-time high. But with pressure comes slower growth. And if growth is not coming as normal as estimated, it's a problem. That could trigger a slowdown and then some curve, right? That could trigger that curve to start doing this, right? It was going up, and now it might start to do something like this, and then once it start slowing down because the big companies cannot keep up anymore, that could trigger a massive sell-off. Massive sell-off that could look something like this. So that's how what Trump is doing can affect your wealth. That is the point of the stream tonight. Understand the forces that can affect your wealth. See the bigger picture. See where it's leading. See where it's heading. Have a plan in case it happens. Have a plan. I think big tech is very influential in the entire market, and with pressure, with a big, strong competitor, that will damage them. I told you, I believe Twitter and Facebook will be the biggest victim out of what Trump is doing right now, especially Twitter. That is going to affect the entire stock market, and that could affect your wealth. Now, what can you do about it? What I would do is I would look into ETFs. I would look into also the companies that are forming the ETF. You can do that too. And you can do look at the companies in 2016 when Trump won that it started pumping. Because should this happen again, they would start pumping. So that right there, that's a way that you can leverage and what's going on in your advantage. Align yourself with the win. And when now we have historical data to go and search for because Trump was a president before. So the companies that were doing well before the first time when he was president can start doing it again. So that's how we can prepare for it. On top of that, if you are in crypto like me, you are in crypto. Trump is not necessarily friendly with cryptos. So, me, one of the things I'm going to do is going to this year and next year, I'm going to pay attention to this very well, very closely. And then the more that it's going in growing, and more people are looking into it, it's getting more popular. I'm going to diversify my crypto portfolio even faster. That's how I'll mitigate it because right now I'm 99.6% in crypto. I'm too focused, which is a good thing for a time, but I gotta look. Biden is great for crypto. Now we have a Bitcoin futures ETF, great for cryptos. And also, like US said the other day, they're not looking into banning Bitcoin. Great for cryptos, crypto businesses. I'm looking at all the projects, but Trump is not that friendly with cryptos. So with him, I gotta be more careful. I gotta mitigate my chances. So I gotta be for my long term portfolio. I gotta readjust it a little bit, and it's time anyway. It's time for me to pull out some profit and start allocating that. But this is something I'm going to be looking at as a crypto investor. I'm going to be looking at this, how this is growing, starting to mitigate for it, and then plan accordingly around it. That's how you use information, you use trend to your advantage so that you can prepare for it. Without understanding this, if you're just looking at the stock or the wheel that is going um, to spin clockwise or counterclockwise, you're not looking at the bigger picture, you could get hurt. And if you start crashing, and then that's when you start buying and crashing more, and then like when it's actually time to buy because it finished crashing, you all disappointed and desperate about it, and you don't want to buy again, and it started going up. Then you're like, oh my god. So you got to understand timing too. We go over that in the course. All I have to say this, guys. In conclusion, we're going to closing to 2 hours, and but we're gonna finish. But one thing I want to mention lastly is there is this sounds great what Trump is doing, but there's one thing. There's one thing that can crash it all. There's one thing that Trump can do that can screw all this up. The biggest risk of because what is the risk of what he's doing? The biggest risk of the Trump project with the media is Trump himself. Only Trump can hurt Trump. And he's done a great job at hurting himself. Now, has he learned? Has he become more humble in the lost? And will he learn from this and adapt and be more wise in the future? Only time will tell. But there is only one thing that can screw all of this thing up. It's Trump. Imagine a situation where, let's say, a journalist from CNN has a profile in his truth social media and he's speaking the truth, right? But according to Trump, that truth is not his truth, which is supposed to be the truth, right? And Trump goes after that journalist. And now he's also the owner of a social media company. And why not just censor that journalist? Because they not agree with the truth that she exposed, she or he, whoever. Imagine a scenario like this. This would be catastrophic for the truth social media. This would be catastrophic for the Trump Media Technology Group. And this would have been Trump own doing. If he's smart, he should sell all at the acquisition time. That would make significant profit. If the market end up being 10 billion by the time they do the IPO, that is a lot of money that he could cash in because he started the company from nothing, right? He should get out of the company's investor board and being used as a promoter, not necessarily affiliate, but hey, the thing has his name anyway, so indirectly he will be affiliate to it. But that's what he should do. As a civilian right now, he should cash out and be and avoid conflict of interest and necessarily having the power to really censor people in there because Trump, if you give enough power to Trump, he will abuse it. He has shown this before. This is actually, if you are in numerology, I am in numerology and I'm deep in it, you will understand that this is part of his character. But you can't give Trump too much power because if he does, so far he has shown that he can abuse it. If he can to put it into his benefit, he will, because he's a winner at all costs. He wants to win at all costs, right? So if Trump, and only Trump will do it. No one else in the company will do it. But if he does it and he censors, whether it's big tech, whether it's someone, an individual that's speaking their truth, all of this is over. And it's weird because there is so much value that can come from this. This can have a significant impact in the world. And its Achilles heel is something as simple as one person being censored. Ooh. And then not only that, it's that the person that is promoting this is the type of guy who would do it. That's interesting, guys. Man, the next couple years, man, is going to be so interesting. It's going to be so interesting. But anyway, can this stock reach 1,000%? I think Trump is very ambitious. I think this stock is going to do well because there is too many people behind Trump, and they will want to join the fight. And what better way to join the fight and earn money from it? GameStop was a fight against Wall Street. Now, the same thread that pushed GameStop high, they're talking about this stock right here, DAWC. Now they're looking at this not just as a way to make money, but also as a way to join the fight against big tech, against freedom of speech. We've seen what social media mixed with finance can do. Too many people are behind this. It can pass, and the more people are buying it, I think it can do 100% from the listed price, from the price initially $10. So that would be close to like $1,000. This will put the evaluation very high, double-digit billions, without having any products. 10 billions for this by the end, by the time it's IPOs can be possible. When we're looking at Twitter, when we're looking at Facebook, when we're looking at Netflix, 10 billion is very possible. So, guys, there's money to be made here. I'm not going to invest in it because I told you it's not because of I don't think it's a great opportunity. It's more like for the bigger picture. The bigger picture does I don't feel comfortable with it. Again, I love to be when it's flat, no one sees it, but I see everything that people would want. And in Team Asia, Aaron, if you're watching, if you're still watching, Team Asia, shout out to you, sir. Shout out to you. Team Asia right now. Emerging market in Asia, Singapore, crypto platform in Singapore, lots of opportunities. I'm not even talking about China, I'm talking about Asia in general. Malaysia, Singapore. Find ways to invest in that. That's what I do right now. And that's where I'll be mostly diversified, waiting for a correction. Waiting for a correction. And then I have a list of things I want to buy. But right now, there is one company, regardless of market going up or down, I'm going to buy anyway. It corrected itself nicely. It's at a level where I feel comfortable buying it again. I will be buying it again. But anyway, all that to say, guys, great stream for today. We covered a lot of things. The uncontrollable forces that can affect your wealth. When you understand the bigger picture, you see where things are going, you can plan ahead to profit from it. Put your portfolio where in the same direction as the wind, not against it, right? That is going to catapult you forward faster than if you were just looking at the stock itself. You're looking at everything else. This has serious impact in this. If Trump wins, he's going to start the, again the war with China. That's going to have a global impact in the economy. We may have trade wars again. That's going to have impact in pricing of goods. We already have estimations of inflation in the next couple of years that's going higher and higher because of all the money that had to be printed for CV-19. What's that going to do when you add? We know Trump. We know he's going after China. That's going to do trade war. When you add the trade war, price increase plus the inflation, how does that going to affect your portfolio? If you're not multiplying money, you're losing money. Simple as that. Inflation forces you to multiply your money. If you don't multiply your money, you're losing money. So that's how this can impact your portfolio. This is how this can impact your wealth. Whether you want it or not, you have no control over it. The only thing you can do is where you position yourself to mitigate this. But Trump has solved his biggest weakness with a chess move. His biggest weakness was he had no control over the platform that he was using to communicate with his people. Now he does. And no one in the Republican Party can keep up with that. The Republican Party has a Donald Trump problem. Shout out to Valuetainment for saying that. Shout out to Brett David and Gerard. The Republican Party has a Donald Trump problem. They have to play ball because now he's will be too influential, too powerful, and you have to go with him. With that said, guys, Kenzie stuck with your 1000%. Yes, only if Trump stay wise and not hurt himself. And it might take a time or two, but he has enough people to overcome the biggest obstacle that used to be a problem for big tech, for companies trying to rival big tech. And that makes it interesting. With that said, guys, it was a pleasure, privilege to be here with you today. Love making this stream. We'll have more streams coming next week. I'll try to have people. I'm working on 2 interviews right now. One of them might be pre-recorded, but the other one we'll see. But yeah, good things coming in. Join the Discord channel. The link will be in the descriptions. I'll make a specific stream, very short stream, for my people who joined this Discord channel. I have a couple things to announce. And yes, yes, guys, enjoy the community, and we'll be looking forward to this. We'll be looking forward. Make sure you hit the like. Our goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And yes, guys, join the community. And with that said, we'll talk on the next podcast.